Into the third dimension. 3D photography, to me, is truly something magical where a moment in time is captured forever just as it was, in full depth. Your eyes can wander around the image picking out detail that just cannot be seen in a regular photograph. Most of you are likely familiar with the ViewMaster and the round discs which delivers really spectacular 3D views. From time to time, fads have taken hold where the home photographer would produce 3D images. For the most part, the results were very good. Back in the mid-1970s, I became fascinated with trying to make my own 3D images. However, there were no 3D cameras on the market at that particular time. Vintage 3D cameras could sometimes be found, but they were pricey, and my financial situation didn't allow me to acquire one of those. So I began investigating how such images were made. This, of course, was before the internet, and it took a while for me to find the information I needed. Of course, today, such information would only take a couple of clicks in a few minutes. I needed to be able to make a stereo-paired image of photographs. And while they may look identical, they aren't. They are actually taken about 1.5 inches apart, simulating the distance between our eyes, which allows us to see depth in the first place. And then, of course, you need a way to view the images which will combine them in your mind. To make my first 3D images, I made what I call a stereo board, and it's fast, easy, and fairly accurate. First, I got a flat piece of wood about 12 inches long by 4 inches wide, and being that this needed to be attached to a tripod, I measured the center of the board, drilled a hole in it, and mounted a nut in it so that that would accommodate the screw on the tripod head. And for the next step, I set up my camera on the board, and with a blue pen I outlined the camera, and then I slid the camera over about 1.5 inches and again outlined the camera in a different color. Once the board was mounted, the rest was easy. If you try this method, though, you need to remember that you cannot photograph something moving, as it will blur. Even a gentle breeze in the trees will ruin the effect. But by carefully positioning a person with the command not to move between shots, you can obtain excellent portraits. I found close-ups of flowers very easy to do and with awesome results. I was so happy with my end product that I took my tripod and stereo board on quite a few expeditions. At Crossroads Village near Flint, Michigan, I made well over 100 images. On one particularly fascinating outing, I took my homemade 3D setup to Negwegon State Park up by Black River, Michigan, where there are some ancient Indian ruins. And to study that site, the 3D images proved to be invaluable in their detail. I even caught a mama turkey and her nest of eggs. But another photographic expedition was to Fort Mackinac, where excavations were actually underway. And then again, I made well over 100 stereo images. Unfortunately, all those and the Crossroads Village images were stolen from me by a vindictive ex-wife, the epitome of evil, if you will. The images needed some special preparations, though, to be viewed, and I found at first the easiest way was to go to an antique shop and drop $60 or $70 for a stereopticon viewer. Then I would mount the images on a card, and when viewed through the antique device, full depth and excellent detail could be seen. But I found a much easier way to view my cards and the antique images that does not cost anything at all. Your only investment will be in time, perhaps 5 to 10 minutes, to train your eyes to do what is called free viewing. In free viewing, you put the card at a distance of about 5 to 6 inches from your eyes. The distance varies from person to person, and you then stare at the images whilst relaxing your eyes, and you allow your eyes to merge the images, and voila, the 3D will sort of just pop right out at you. And once you've learned to free view the images, you will never need a viewing device again. And eventually, a number of 3D cameras came out on the market. One made lenticular 3D images, but I won't go into those here. I purchased a small 35mm Loreo 3D camera, and I loved it. This, too, was stolen by my ex-wife. The Loreo, though, gave excellent results, and it took 2 images at once, so when I received my finished prints, both images were on the single print, eliminating the need to do card mounts. I never attempted to do 3D movies. It would have been costly and very difficult. I would have had still needed a stereo board, but also 2 identical movie cameras, 2 identical projectors that could be synchronized, and actually viewing them would be difficult at best. But I'll never forget the thrill I felt when I viewed my very first 3D images. I felt like a magician who knew the secret of being able to freeze time. Now, about this time, I bought my first video cassette recorder, and it was a huge Sony Betamax, first one on the home market, and it was big and weighed a ton. Once these caught on, the market became flooded with pre-recorded movies, and many of the 3D movies from the 1950s were released on tape, complete with pairs of 3D blue-red glasses for viewing the movies. The video releases were very poor and didn't offer much in the way of a 3D effect, and those blue-red glasses could give you a tremendous headache after only about 10 minutes of using them. I had a number of the titles, though. I remember buying The Creature from the Black Lagoon and It Came from Outer Space and a couple of others. They were classic B-films of their day and favorites of mine, but not in the 3D format, in video at least. I'm told that projected on the big screen they were a truly awesome 3D effect. But I love 3D photography, and I for one don't understand why it never caught on, for it is truly the best way to pause time, scenes exactly as we have seen them. Well, thanks for stopping by. Have a great evening, and please give a thumbs up and subscribe, and be watching for part 2 of this very soon. God bless, and have an awesome, great day.